I think what's been really exciting as we talk about the transition of this out of my career but into the role is that, as you said, the causes that have been very important to me I can focus even more energy on, because very early out of the gate I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility, which I take seriously. And it was really one of the first things we connected on. It was one of the first things we started talking about when we met, was just the different things that we wanted to do in the world and how passionate we were about seeing change. I think that was, that's what got date 2 in the books, probably.
Plenty to talk about.
My name is Harry, I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is October 12th, 2023. It is 4:10 a.m. So I took a while to get started. Not only I was finishing whatever I recorded yesterday, I did some short videos. I put live already. There's one, and I have another one similar to this, but with different perspective. I decided to make it public like around 12. When is that? There's this one here. Where is it? Let's refresh. I think around 12 or 10 a.m. This one, yeah, 10 a.m. That's another short similar to this, so I don't want people to think this is the same thing, because it will give the same kind of thumbnails, and some people will not even bother looking at it because it's the same thumbnails. All right, so let's look in the background, because I have a lot to share with you. I have about, let's see here, I think 14 tweets. All right, so feel free to skip. 3,375 subscribers. Estimate revenues $357.72. Analytic, okay, the same, $357.72. And oh, did somebody just subscribe? 5,000? Oh, no. It's not. I thought that was the subscribers. It's not, because I'm seeing a 6 here, because I remember seeing a 5. Phew. Okay, so that's that. 5,700. Oh, it just changed. 5,794 views in the last 48 hours. Okay, so let's go on Twitter. I have a lot to share with you. Let's do the first one. Okay, let's see here. This is on my list. I just respond to it, but it's further down on my list. I think I arranged it properly. All right. I saved this in 2019, but every time I read it, it breaks my heart even more. I thought I should share this with you since it's Mental Health Day, and we'll see members of that family pretending like they care about mental health. I can't take Harry for removing Meghan and that cesspool. All right. So this, I shared it on my community board, 2 days ago? So you probably read it already if you follow me and see things on my community board. All right, let's see if I could see it very clear. Okay, a top secret psychological profile has revealed miserable mom-to-be Meghan Markle is a ticking time bomb who could explode at any moment. My goodness, according to royal insiders, the National Enquirer, okay, from this point on, you know this is garbage, obviously, okay, has learned Buckingham Palace officials are concerned about the 37-year-old Duchess of Sussex tears, tantrums, and mood swings as she feud with sister-in-law, oh my goodness, Kate Middleton, and her father leaks intimate details of her private letter to him. Meanwhile, knowing what we know now, okay?
And remember, the purpose of the PR office at the royal family is to keep the royals in the press all the time. So you have to remember, when I work in newsrooms, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace.
But why haven't...
And if it comes from Kensington Palace,
right,
why are they briefing against their own grandson?
Well, okay, that's a very... The idea...
Why are there never any
I think that's
stories
fascinating.
about Prince William?
Well, William...
regarding the letter and everything else and who was behind all of the leaks. Okay, the palace is watching Meghan every move. Dish a royal sauce, she'll need all the physical and emotional strength she can muster to survive its all-powerful machinery. My goodness, this is the thing that Princess Diana was dealing with on her own.
Do you really believe that a campaign was being waged against you?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
I was a separated wife to the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop. Never happened before. What do we do with her?
Can't we pack her off to somewhere quietly rather than campaign against her?
She won't go quietly. That's the problem. I'll fight till the end.
Royal fixers won't hesitate to use the alleged profile to destroy Meghan. Wow. And that's what they were doing. That's exactly what they were doing. My goodness, these people are evil. Whose first marriage to producer Trevor Engelson blew up. If she ever tries to divorce Prince Harry and gain custody of their child, said an insider, Meghan should know she's facing a formidable army. There's Harry. Harry left with her. Meghan should know she's facing a formidable army, and if she puts up opposition to the palace's plan, she can expect it to be used against her, the insider said. According to a royal mole, the analysis, I mean, they're probably telling the truth here. I believe this because this is what we saw was happening. Okay, indicate Meghan's personality could lead her to fight for custody and smuggle her child out of Britain. Her husband, well, they put their heads together and get the hell out of there. And I explained in one video, The Great Escape or something. What they did is that they took these people by surprise. They went on vacation to Canada, and then Harry left Meghan and Archie in Canada and went back to resolve the issues, and things then resolved, so he left. He followed suit. Alright, pursue unsuitable romances with older men as she searches for a father figure. My goodness, knowing what we know now, the nonsense.
With American media, I think. And the whole thing was a plan to actually mess up the wedding.
Get lashed out publicly over the sacrifices she made for Harry and the royal family, slip into drug dependency to numb her pain. Oh my God. Quote, it will be a disaster to even consider one of those scenarios becoming a reality. Wow. A source close to the royal said the concern raised by the evaluation don't surprise Dr. Judy Kuriansky, an internationally known clinical psychologist who claimed that Meghan's alleged instability, what in the name, could be related to her pregnancy and pressures of skyrocketing from a B-list celeb to royal superstar. What in the name? Pregnancy alter mood. That's not a doctor. Because if you were a doctor, I know this is pure BS, but if this was actually happening, mood swing and whatever, she just gave birth. Or when was this written? Okay, couldn't this be some sort of postpartum, this kind of thing? Now instead they blaming it on being a A-list to a B. What in the? I don't even think Meghan even care about this. She was just happy to get a gig. Oh my goodness. From a B-list celeb to royal superstars, pregnancy alters mood. Dr. Kuriansky said Meghan's hormones are totally out of sync, which makes her act wacky. And then you didn't even evaluate her for you to come and say such thing. If this is actually a doctor, the momentous shift in social status could have created havoc in her head, added Dr. Kuriansky, a fellow of the American Psychological Association, who was not treated the Duchess. This is what I'm saying. You didn't even evaluate her, and how the hell could you say all of this? This person needs to lose her license. Alright, notice how they never said anything about Harry living with her. These people really underestimate Harry's love for Meghan. That's why they never recovered when he left with her. But when was this written? I feel like I read this before. I'm not sure if it's when I took the screenshot or somewhat, maybe a year or so. Because I feel like I read this before. Harry and Meghan are cycle breakers. They fought for their children not to go through the same thing as them, although it came with a significant cost. They're the right people to talk about mental health. That's what I said. If you guys go on our Port of Pure service, okay, the tweets during that day, during the mental health summit, I brought this up. I said they're the right people to talk about this. Many of you didn't see that video. I hate what's written here, but since some of you follow Harry and Meghan after they stepped back, I wanted you to see what she was up against. And those who are still saying she was supposed to stay will endure this type of emotion and spiritual abuse. So to see them thriving like this means a lot to us because we know what they've been through. I'm still saying Tyler Perry, without the E here, Tyler Perry was right when he said Meghan could have said more in that interview. Okay, so what is that? They were so sure she'd divorce Harry and fight for custody, but God didn't let that happen. Look at how they're thriving now. They're coming far and they fought so hard for their marriage. The evilness of these people to treat a pregnant woman like that. Okay, so that was when she was pregnant. Okay, the evilness of these people to treat a pregnant woman like that and even comparing her to ticking time bomb, heartbreaking. They were so sure she would eventually kill herself. Yeah, I'm telling you, the UK is masterful at this. They're masterful at manipulating the mind to make people think differently. This is pure evil.
When racism as such, as a philosophy, kicked in, was as a direct reaction to the abolitionist movement. The abolitionist movement driven by some of the leading intellectuals of the day, as well as driven by hundreds of thousands of ordinary people in this kingdom who signed petitions after petitions and presented them to the House of Lords. When the abolition movement really kicked in from the 1780s onwards, the planters had to respond. And so this is where you get the most virulent imagery about brutal, pagan, bestial.
But the media is a powerful force.
Black people in the literature and in the imagery.
Cartoons portraying black people as licentious and depraved began to circulate.
But the media is a powerful force.
The anti-abolitionist Edward Long wrote,
"The lower class women in England are remarkably fond of the blacks. In the course of a few generations more, the English blood will become so contaminated with this mixture as even to reach the middle and then the higher orders of the people. This is a venomous and dangerous ulcer that threatens to disperse its malignancy far and wide until every family catches infection from it."
But the media is a powerful force.
Alright, enough. She correct herself somewhere. Wow. British media had it all planned out. Yeah, this is the same blueprint that Princess Diana went through. The exact same thing. And Princess Diana was dealing with them on her own. When she said something about who was the enemy was her husband's, I'll put the clip.
The campaign was, in that point, was being successful. But it did surprise the people who were causing the grief. It did surprise them when I took myself out of the game. They hadn't expected that. And I'm a great believer that you should always confuse the enemy.
Who was the enemy?
Well, the enemy was my husband's department, because I always got more publicity. My work was discussed much more than him, and from that point of view, I understand it. But I was doing good things, and I wanted to do good things. I was never going to hurt anyone. I was never going to let anyone down.
But you really believe that it was out of jealousy that they wanted to undermine you?
I think it was out of fear, because here was a strong woman doing her bit, and where was she getting her strength from? to continue. Well, I obviously had knowledge of it.
From staff?
Well, from people who minded and cared about our marriage, yes.
What effect did that have on you?
Pretty devastating. Rampant bulimia, if you can have rampant bulimia, and just a feeling of being no good at anything and being useless and hopeless and failed in every direction.
All right. And they weren't afraid to say it. They were already discussing how the public do not want to fund Archie's security, but now it's Megan who was wrong to leave. Megan's children would be living in hell should their parents continue to stay. Yeah, they would have used the kids to do the almost the same thing. Well, pretty much, let's just say, Harry's family, okay, Megan, Archie, Lilibet, all of them would have fell on that victim because they don't see Harry as anything. Just see right after Princess Diana died, how they treated him. All right, walking with a hole in his shoes and all of that. All right. Thanks for sharing. We know some of them, but this article has painted a full picture of the evils. Yep, Harry said on TV interview for his spare book that his royal family expected Meghan to leave, but they don't know he will live with her. I always wonder whether Queen Elizabeth II knew the situation. So the thing that I see here, this is something she should have known, but knowing what I've shared with you already, when you plug little bits and pieces things together, you sort of, you could assume certain things. Because at some point, they remove the Queen's private secretary, all right? The one who was looking after the crown. I forgot his name. Okay, I'll put some screenshot of things. All right? They remove him because, what is it? Charles and, what's the other one? Charles, what's the other boy? Andrew. All right? I'm saying boy, the other man. All right? Charles and Andrew put their heads together because they couldn't get whatever they want from the Queen because the private secretary, whoever was advising the Queen, saw what was right for the crown. Okay, so Charles and Andrew they put their head together, they removed that private secretary, and they put Andrew, what's his name? Something, Edward, not Andrew, Edward Young. Okay, that Edward Young is someone that they could manipulate, that could do whatever Charles want him to do. Okay, so in that aspect, I believe that private secretary was the one who was blocking any information to go through the Queen. Because if she, the Queen, have known about this, she would have put a stop to it. So the middleman, okay, that would have give the information to the Queen, they remove him. If the other private secretary was there, the Queen would have known. Do you understand me? All right. So now that they removed this private secretary, they put a puppet secretary, pretty much whatever Charles want. They put him there. So when Charles says something and said, don't mention to the Queen, he doesn't mention it to the Queen. Okay? So, let's say, for instance, when the Queen and Harry was supposed to have some sort of a meeting or whatever. So, as soon as the other side know about it, okay, they quickly book the Queen for different things. And then, Harry was all of a sudden shocked and said, look, I had all of a sudden, I had a meeting with her and we were about to drive to meet with her, and all of a sudden, she canceled. All right, this kind of thing. All right, so yeah, I don't think the Queen knew. If the other secretary was there, the Queen would have known. But this one, I don't think. They prevent the Queen from knowing this information. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, let's read this and. Okay, whatever is here, this seemed like some very good conversation. And they weren't afraid to say it. Okay, that's that. Thank you for sharing. We know some of them, but this article has a painted full picture of the evils. Harry's, okay, I read that as well. You're welcome, dear. I don't think the Queen knew about this. That's it. Yeah, I don't think she knew. Okay, I don't think the Queen knew about this. She was too old. That's not the reason. Not because she was too old, because they removed his secretary. Also, even if she knew, I guess she had no choice since she chose to save Andrew, just like Charles chose to save Camilla. Harry told nothing but the truth in his memoir, and he is vindicated many times. Wow, I know, I said the same thing the first time I saw this article. It is shocking. A work of fiction as usual, except that it would have become reality should Harry have decided to stay in that cesspool. Yeah! You see, many of the things that were happening pretty much is somewhat listed there. That was their plan, and then they were working toward it. Okay, ticking time bomb and all of that. Bringing the father who was okay to play along with it. These are the things to instigate her inner well-being. All right, so they were doing the work to make her feel that way. So they knew what they were doing. Okay, cause and effect. I do this, she's gonna feel that way. If I do that, she's gonna feel this way. This kind of thing. All right, next tweet. This I shared on my other channel, but I'll just let it play while I read this. Okay, Daily Fail was not let into the building to cover the event. They were not invited, so like people without any self-esteem that they are, they waited on the street, stuck a live stream to encourage our very people they profess to hate. All right. So that they went in, and Discord came and blocked them, and then the thing went down. Nobody knows who was in the car, what she was wearing at that time, until pictures start coming out. Alright, so there's those cars. And by the way, these cars are just causing traffic. That SUV maybe, this SUV and this car and the police car, yes. Alright, but all the other ones, no. Yes, this one is a yes. Yes. Yes, and there's the police car in the back. There's his security, I think. One of their security. Look at them. Alright. Let's move on. Did anyone notice how one of the drivers cut off and blocked their vision of Harry and Meghan SUV car after they entered the building? With 7 entourage cars, they don't know which one carries Harry and Meghan. There's the laugh. Did you see the paparazzi on the skateboard? The popo stopped him and his track. Alright, so let me read this, and this is an ad. Then they wrote a bunch of snacky articles talking about gas guzzling vehicle and how short the distance was that they were going. I mean, knowing what we know now, I mean, these people are freaking monsters. They pretend what happened the last time they were in New York didn't happen at all. So now Harry's supposed to just walk on the street and do that, and then be chased by them. Next tweet. Alright, I can listen to this voice all day. There was something else that I wanted to put after. Okay, I'll come to this. Let me put this one before that one, because I thought I did this in the proper order. So there's this one after the car thing, the SUV and all of that. Alright, so the British media, or shall I say the monarchy, want media to paint narrative about Harry and Meghan using 7 cars more than the couple's safety, but Willie is taking daily ride with his helicopter, and the media never dared to report in the UK, but Harry and Meghan, toxic British media. Alright, so that's the thing we just saw. Reveal eco-conscious Harry and Meghan use gas-guzzling 7-car convoy to travel short distance to World Mental Health Day talk in New York on the couple's first trip to the city after a near-catastrophic car chase. There it is. Alright, so there's a reason for that. They didn't have to, but now they must, knowing that their safety is in jeopardy. Alright? They even put a map. These people are ridiculous. And this every day. They're all a baggage for God. Baggage for God. Okay, our country is judging globally by the state of our press and our government, both of which I believe are at rock bottom. Prince Harry and his phone hacking trial against Mirror Group newspaper. He's right. And so far, very few Brits who have the mic are actually making the UK look good. There's Harry, there's O'Brien, Dr. Shola. I know a lot of people in the UK don't like her, but she's telling the truth like it is. All right. So if there are others, I don't. Oh, Byline. Let me not forget that Byline, who's keeping, some sort of a journalistic aspect in the UK somewhat alive. But other than that, I don't know. There probably some others, but and of course you see little people of the UK. Whenever they get a chance, they let the world know they're not part of this nonsense that the British media is making the entire country look. All right, so that's that. Look at this. It's a shame. It's a shame. This is how the older brother. But anyway, that cause there are media trolls. There's that commercial. Okay, so that's it. Let's go to the next one. So this is the one. Okay, I can listen to this voice all day. Yep, and she's right. We need to put measure in place to make social media safe, especially when 14-year-olds are self-harming because of social media. 3 minutes. This one is slightly longer than the ones that I've shared already. Let's see here.
And it's Tristan Harris, who's a friend of ours that we started working with a few years ago, founder of Center for Humane Technology. And Tristan had said, just like when something is invented, let's take the car, for example. When the car was first invented, there wasn't a seat belt. You could smoke inside of your car. And what happened? People started to get hurt. People started to die. So you started to change the car. You would put in safeguards so that this new piece of something that is part of our evolution is adapting to keep people safe, right? Now, even if you're veering off into the lane, maybe you're getting a little sleepy, it'll go beep, 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 bring you right back to where you're safe. And so as we watch the evolution of social media and the internet, what are those same modifications we need to make to ensure that just like that car, we are adapting to the times because people are getting hurt and people, specifically children, are dying. How do we fix that? And I think it will take all of us on so many different levels, from grassroots level, of course, probably to policy.
And that's a very good example of how things can change and improve, because it's not gonna go away. And this is why things needs to be improved upon. The same way, let's say for instance, Harry saw the Warriors game. Okay, what did Harry do? He saw it and he felt like others could benefit from it and took it globally. Because the Warriors game was mostly, I believe, just for the Americans, right? So he saw it and he said, oh, maybe my countrymen could use that. Maybe some other people, could use it. And he took it globally. So that's improving on things. And then this year, we find out that Germany wants to be part of it. There's probably some more improvement upon it. So this is the thing here. People need to focus on what really matters. When there's a problem, see what the problem is, improve on the thing to remove the whatever problem that somewhat occurred that arises out of it. So that's a very good example that she uses here.
To be able to keep our families and our children safe. Being a mom is the most important thing in my entire life. And outside, of course, being a wife to this one.
That's the part I just put the shots. Okay, I put the part where in their engagement interview where they said being you're a new country, a new husband, and when Harry shook his body like, a husband. So I just put that on that short clip.
But I will say I feel fortunate that our children are at an age, again, quite young, so this isn't in our immediate future. So it worries me, but I'm also given a lot of hope and a lot of energy by the progress we've made in the past year, being able to have these incredible parents, these survivors of this experience, to share their stories. It allows us to continue to learn. And the more information we have, the more information gathering we're able to do.
And I've also put that on a short video as well about learning, because when she said, when all four of them were sitting on stage, as something heads together, is it that thing? I don't know. Where she said she doesn't mind being in the background to learn, meet with the right people to maximize her potential and all of that. So this is the same thing here that she's saying here. I put that on a short video for you guys as well.
The more we can have these high-level conversations and try to move the needle a little bit, I just think anyone who's a parent, and by the way, even if you're not a parent, you see your friends affected, you see adults who are affected by this. Everyone now is affected by the online world and social media, some more than others. But we all just want to feel safe. You want to feel community, you want to feel connected, especially post the pandemic, but you want to feel safe. And in that, I think so much of it can come down to, if someone is looking for something, please don't feed them the thing that they're not looking for that's going to harm them. The algorithm.
It's almost the same thing that Harry's saying. If you're one of those tech people, would you post the same thing? What did he say about things that you will not be sharing with your kids? So don't put it out there, all right, for other people.
Algorithms are very powerful. As parents, though, our kids are really young. They're 2.5 and 4.5. But social media is not going away. And look, I think by design, there was an entry point that's supposed to be positive and creating community. And something has devolved. And there's no way to hear that and not try to help these families have their stories be heard. My husband and I often say, if there's going to be so much focus on what we're doing, then to try to focus on what we're focusing on, because their stories are what matter.
That's why this is where they said they want to use their platform, okay, to highlight things that matters to them.
As a prince, you're born at birth with a natural platform to be able to try and make a difference, yeah? Which a lot of people have to spend years and years and years getting to that point. So from that perspective, I'm very lucky to have a platform to be able to try and make change in the causes that mean a lot to me, but also to you guys. And I'm still in your generation, by the way. But at the same time, as I said, being born with a lot of privilege comes with a lot of responsibility. But I like to think that I'm going to have to spend the rest of my life earning the respect for that privilege and trying to make a difference for the rest of my life.
I feel a really big responsibility. Like if you have this kind of job and you have an opportunity to have a profile where people are listening to what you're saying, I really, truly think you need to be saying something that's valuable. So yes, you can talk about like, where did Rachel get that pencil skirt? Fine, sure. We can have that conversation. But I'd also like to talk about
women's rights.
Women's rights and like my work with UN Women or with World Vision or humanitarian trips or just really bolstering self-esteem that has nothing to do with the external.
My husband and I often say, if there's going to be so much focus on what we're doing, then to try to focus on what we're focusing on. Very early out of the gate, I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility, which I take seriously. And at the same time, I think in these beginning few months and now being boots on the ground in the UK, I'm excited to just really get to know more about the different communities here, smaller organizations who are working on the same causes that I've always been passionate about under this umbrella. And also being able to go around to the Commonwealth. I think it's just the beginning of a...
There's a lot to do.
Really?
There's a lot to do.
And there's no way to hear that and not try to help these families have their stories be heard. My husband and I often say, if there's going to be so much focus on what we're doing, then to try to focus on what we're focusing on, because their stories are what matter.
That's why this is where they said they want to use their platform, okay, to highlight things that matters to them. So yeah, let me see, there was something I was thinking somewhere around here.
But social media is not going away. And look, I think by design...
The thing that I was thinking around this part here is that no matter what the invention is, okay, the bad guy will always, the evildoers, okay, the evildoers will always find a way to use it to continue their evilness. Okay? So that's that. That's what I was thinking about. Because social media was a way to bring people together. And I said it on my other podcast on Our Part of Pure Service when I came across that part. Is that, social media was created to bring people together, to have good connection and all of that. And then what happened? Once the evildoers find the formula of how it could manipulate people, so they use it, they weaponize it. All right, so let me read some of them. She has such a smooth speaking voice. Bullseye, that's an ad. Meghan communicates with ease and an innate intelligence that speaks to everyone. All right, let's get to the next one. The way the British royal family has scammed their citizens into believing that charity is royal work that they should be paid £300 million a year to do needs to be studied, followed by how they've convinced some to attack those doing charity without taxpayers' funding. All right. There's this here, the greatest con of our lifetime. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is what I was just thinking, but she voted before me, even though it says an hour there, but she voted before me. Okay, you beat me to it. I was going to say the greatest heist, the same. Right, that's the biggest grift on that country, that's for sure. So what is that? Without question, this is extra, I don't know. Without question, Prince Harry's Spare should be nominated for a Grammy. His audiobook reading was phenomenal. Alright, so that's different. Let's go to the next tweet. Okay, so there's this here. We said don't compete where you don't compare, but they don't want to listen. Okay, so she retweeted that. If it was a battle, as the media claim, one side clearly lost, cause never mind. All right, I'm gonna go into that, so let's read the comment here. They don't want to listen, and then when Harry and Meghan step out, as Cardi B said, they're gonna want to start crying. All right, let's go into this. All right, so that was Pagan who said who originally tweeted it, because I saw 30 minutes stream of our fave while okay, bye. Okay, 5 stories on the Fell website, nothing for the others. Those hoes ain't loyal. Oh my God, reading this from Pagan, there's some squatters, you don't even need to see their face. There's some sort of a professionalism you see in them, but this one just threw me off with Pagan. Okay, 5 stories on the Fell website, nothing for the others. Those hoes ain't loyal. She went gangster with them this time. Okay, I expect the media will put them on the front page so they can get a little attention, but not even one newspaper did this. There's like, alright, GIF, commercials, haha. Most definitely the other brother has to be incandescent. There's the laugh. Guess that means the media got bit by their own hype. And the other thing is that, you see what's happening in the Middle East? Actually, I have some stuff regarding the Middle East, where they're pinning both sides together, because I see this as happening in slow motion in my eyes. All right, earlier this year, I posted something on my community board. I don't want to go in full detail about that now. But the thing is that they're trying to pin the brothers against each other. They already know. Well, at least the squad know, and Harry and Meghan knows. Okay, they're not competing with anybody. But the other one, because whatever nonsense the tabloid is saying, he's taking that at face value. When in fact, he knows very well. He feed nonsense to them, and I don't know. This is something I could never wrap my head around, because he is fully well known that it's nonsense, but he took it at face value and doing all this BS, making him look so foolish. All right, the press is only loyal to themselves, that's it, and their checkbook. Sussex are authentic and stay true to the cause that are important to them, and in turn, they sell out everything, so British media want to make that bank. The other side was recorded, not live stream, but UK media knew better than to run that tape because it'll be comedy gold. Alright, wait, the UK media barely covered the Welleses. No wonder Levin is raging and she needs to be put on mute. I think it is because even their own tabloid trash press doesn't believe in what Toby says on this crucial topic. You can do what he did and pretend to have any credibility, result of short-term thinking and forgetting that Meghan had options. That's a very good way. They can compete where they don't compare. As hard as they try, they just never mind. Okay, I guess never learn. All right, next tweet. Okay, so there's this here. The Derangers feel personally attacked by Harry and Meghan advocating for internet and social media safety. I wonder why. Okay, isn't it wonderful? She did a whole forum about them. They should be thrilled. Online bullies, I'm telling you. The Rangers won't be able to pay their bills. Let's see, show more. Okay, because it's a threat to their deranged existence on social media platforms. One in particular was recently demonetized and she's been losing her shit. LOL. That was kind of funny. Next tweet. Okay, let's pause. This one, yeah, I saw this way before the World Mental Health Day. I just keep on putting it up because there were so many other tweets. So now I'm getting to it. When did it post? The 10th. Yeah, the day before. Okay, one of the things my husband saw when we walk around the house was those two palm trees. See how they connected at the bottom? My love, it's us. And now every day when Archie goes by us palm trees, he says, hi mama, hi papa. There's the heart. Okay, 8 seconds. There's the music, it's playing again. All right, so there's me here. See, October 10th. Okay, the foundation is solid. All right, it is indeed. Archie is a very bright little boy. There's the heart. There's that. So lovely. Oh, how adorable. There's the heart. Okay, let's go to the next tweet. All right, today I have to make time. I'm supposed to have the computer all to myself. My husband is going to go to the office. I need to go to the gym. I need to start creating some sort of routine and then make it turn into a habit. All right, listening to the British media.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together. Because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.